Everyone, so today is game 4, and the Lakers have a real opportunity to go up 3-1 in this series. The Lakers have looked like the better team, even in the game 2 that they lost. The Lakers, as poorly as they played about as bad of a game as you possibly could play, and still with like 2.5 minutes left, the Lakers were only down 2 scores. So that gives me a lot of confidence, and it just seems like the Lakers, like one team is just night and away better. But that doesn't mean that the Memphis Grizzlies can't just steal a game, or that, the Lakers, they play like game 2, Memphis Grizzlies end up playing and winning that game, right? The Lakers have a real opportunity here. If you go up 3-1, series is over. It's just, are you going to win in 5 games in Memphis, or are you going to win in 6 games here in LA? Memphis is a terrible road team. They only had 16 road wins all season. And the last thing you want to do is allow the Memphis Grizzlies to gain momentum, gain confidence, end up getting a game in LA, and then have to go and beat Memphis in Memphis again when they're the best home team in the entire league. Not saying the Lakers can't do that. It just makes things very difficult when right now you basically have the Memphis Grizzlies on their knees, and it's just about delivering that knockout blow and moving on and getting ready to advance. The Grizzlies, though, they're not going to lay down. This is a good team. This is a team that number 2 in the West for a reason, right? Best home record in the league for a reason. Granted, they are on the road, but still, this is a very good team that's very young, that has has their moments. And this is a team that can make things very difficult if the Lakers fall asleep at the wheel. The Lakers are in the driver's seat right now. They just have to show up, do their job. I expect big games from LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Those two, more than anybody, know how important and how significant this game is. This game is massive for the Lakers. So I really do expect them to get going and get established early. Rui Hachimura, I plan on continuing to see his level of play, his aggression, his ability to just be a mismatch in this Memphis Grizzlies series. They really have no answer for him, and he's shown it. Not saying he has to go and drop 30, but I'd like to see him, at least 15 plus would be nice. And the other guys, it can't just be him, right? We need Austin Reeves to continue to play great, continue to step up. D'Angelo Russell gave us 17. I'd like that a little more efficient than he did last game, but still, give us the playmaking, 6 to 7, 8 assists, give us the scoring, give us 15 to 17 points. I'd love to see, maybe a guy like Malik Beasley or Troy Brown get going a little bit. That would be really nice if they can knock down a couple threes. But Lakers need to establish immediately their will, right? They need to establish, we are the better team. We are going to win this game. We are going to advance. They have to feed off, right? We saw in game 3 what this Lakers team is capable of. I mean, they held Memphis to an historic low. They held them to 9 points in the first quarter. Now, I'm not saying you're going to hold them to 9 points in the first quarter again, but you need to win the quarters. This is going to be a tough fight. Memphis is just not going to roll over and let you win. Their backs are against the wall, and we saw what happened in game 2 when their backs were against the wall. And the Lakers just coasted and thought, it'll be fine, we'll turn it on. And you even saw that in the game 3, right? Lakers did the bare minimum to try to win, and the difference was that they were up 30. So they didn't have to really do anything to try to win. They just had to basically not lose at that point. Where game 4 is very likely going to be a completely different scenario. They're likely going to have to show up. They're very likely going to have to play. They're going to have to lock in. They're going to have that intensity. They're going to have to lock down defensively and show us that consistency. This is about as big of a game as it gets. In my opinion, this is an absolute must-win for the Lakers. It's not over or anything like that if the Lakers lose this game, but it just makes things so challenging and so difficult if you fail to win this game. Because again, you then have to go and win game 6 or game 7 And that is going to be hard, right? Or sorry, game 5 or game 7, right? You have to go into Memphis, win that game. You still have to win game 6. So I stand corrected, but it just, why? You have the opportunity here. You have Anthony Davis. You have LeBron James. You have the talent and the depth. You've shown that you have the defense that can stop these guys. The Lakers are putting up great numbers still offensively outside of game 2, which they couldn't buy a bucket. But outside of game 2, game 1 and game 3, Lakers prove that as good of a team as Memphis is defensively, they have no answer at all for the Lakers. I expect Anthony Davis to have basically pick up where he left off. I expect him to have another quality, solid outing. I expect LeBron James to put his head down, get going early. We saw in game 3, LeBron scored 8 of our first 10 points or something like that. We need that because it sets the tone. It gets other guys involved. It gets other guys going, right? Game 2, we were trying to get D'Lo going. Just wasn't working. LeBron didn't score his first basket till 4 minutes into the game, stuff like that. We need LeBron James and Anthony Davis to get established because the other guys feed and play off of them. We've seen that time and time again. Get AD going. If AD scores 8 of our first 10 and we're cruising, other guys are going to pick it up because they're going to have that confidence. They're going to see the ball going into the hoop. We got to get AD going. Got to get him going early. They don't have an answer for Anthony Davis. We saw this be the case. And you just got to pound it. Now, don't force the issue because we saw even in game 3, they were trying to force it on several occasions, Anthony Davis, to get him going. You gotta find ways to utilize your offense to get him going without having to force feed it to where it leads to turnovers, which lead to transition, which leads to just trouble against this Memphis Grizzlies team. We have to continue to lock down and contain guys. We did a great job against Ja Morant. I know a lot of people look at it and go, oh, he had 45. He had 22 when the game was already over. Nobody cared about that. The Lakers were jogging back in transition. They were letting Ja Morant just walk to the rim. Nobody was containing him, nothing. But for the first 3 quarters, Ja Morant basically got nothing. They were denying him. They were pressuring him. He started the game 2 of 10 or something like that, 2 of 8, whatever it was. The Lakers did their job, right? And then the game was over, and it was all right, well, sure, go get your 40, buddy. Sure, good luck to you. Can't let him continue that over. Now, if he wants to try to go off for 50 and nobody else is showing up, then fine, that's different. Because Ja Morant's not going to beat you by himself. He's just not. And I would be shocked if he made another, 6 of 8 from 3. I would be shocked if he shoots even half of that. He's not a good 3-point shooter. It's just not part of his game. So if he wants to take a bunch of threes, sure, go ahead. Dylan Brooks, he's back. He's not suspended, which I am totally okay with because he is a liability for the Memphis Grizzlies. So exploit their weakness. We already know what needs to be done, right? We've proven it several times already. Get it done. We won the series season. We've won the playoffs. We're clearly the better team. I mean, there's no ands, ifs, buts about it. Even when we play poorly, we're clearly the better team. We have too many weapons for them. They don't have enough guys. Desmond Baines had his moments, but outside of Triple J and, Ja Morant, they haven't really gotten too much. Baines and Tillman had that one game without Ja, but it's just the Lakers have the more talent, the more depth, the 2 superstars, the better stars, everything, right? Anthony Davis, if he goes in and he plays like the best player on the court, the Lakers are going to win this game. If LeBron James controls this game, the Lakers are going to win this game. I'd like to see D'Lo have a more efficient game. Even if he gets, let's say he gets 12 points. If he could give us 12 points on 3 of 5 shooting, that would be perfect, right? Just give us that couple free throws, stuff like that. I would be totally okay with that. He doesn't have to necessarily go get us 20 points on, whatever, 10 of 20 shooting, right? I'd rather him just go in, pick and choose your spots, play make, get guys going. Same thing with Austin Reaves, right? Don't got to do anything too crazy. Go get your, 12 to 15. Make a couple plays for others. Play some solid defense. Let's go win this game. Rui is going to, I believe, will continue to do what Rui's been doing because they don't have an answer for him. And I don't expect them to all of a sudden magically have the answer for him when they still have to guard LeBron James. They still have to double team Anthony Davis. They still have to take into account for Reeves and Schroeder. And we still have 3 to 4 guys that haven't even played well, right? Like Schroeder had some moments in game 3, but he wasn't great. He hasn't really had that good game so far. Beasley, we know Beasley can go off at any moment. He's just a time bomb waiting to explode, and that's just hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully it's next series. He'd be huge for that Warriors or Kings matchup, assuming we get the job done. But I believe in this team. In my opinion, this is an absolute must-win. It's a game that you absolutely have to get done. If you get it done, you handle business, you get the job taken care of, then that's it. It's just, will you win in 5? Will you win in 6? How do you close out? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree that, yes, this is an absolute must-win? They need to treat it as if they're down 2-1 rather than up 2-1. Do you think no? How do you feel? Whatever your thought is. Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below.